I start with this feeling of great humility, not knowing, therefore, the mind is capable of real inquiry. So inquire. First of all, I look at my life. Because I said at the beginning, meditation implies the covering the whole field of life. My life, our life, is first I take the daily conscious living. Mm-hmm. I've examined, I've looked at it. There's contradiction and so on, so we've been talking about that. And also, there is the question of sleep. I go to sleep. Mm-hmm. 8, 9, 10 hours. What is sleep? I start not knowing, not what others have said. You follow, sir?
Yes, I do.
I'm inquiring in relation to meditation, which is the real spirit of religion. That is gathering all the energy to move from one dimension to totally different dimension, which doesn't mean divorce from this dimension. I don't know.
No, it's not like those monks going up the hill. No.
I've been up those hills.
Yes.
So, what is sleep? And what is waking? Am I awake? Or I am only awake when there is a crisis, when there is a shock, when there is a challenge, when there is a incident. Death, discard, failure. You follow? Or am I awake all the time? In waking during the daytime. So what is it to be awake? You following, sir?
Yes, I am. Since you're saying meditation must permeate,
of course,
obviously to be awake cannot be episodic.
That's it.
Cannot
be episodic. Cannot be something stimulated.
Can't be described as peak experiences.
No. As any form of stimulation, external or internal, only implies that you are asleep and you need a stimulant. Whether it's coffee, sex, or a tranquilizer, or keep you awake.
Have a shock to go to sleep and have a shock to wake up.
In my inquiry, I'm asking, am I awake? What does it mean to be awake? Not awake to what is happening politically, economically, socially. That's of course obvious. But awake, what does it mean? I am not awake if I have any burden. Right, sir? There is no sense of being awake where there is any kind of fear. If I live with an illusion, there is no... If my actions are neurotic, there is no state of being awake. So, I'm inquiring. And I can only inquire by becoming very sensitive to what is happening in me outside me. So, is the mind aware during the day completely to what is happening outside of me?
Upon every instant.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Otherwise, I'm not awake.
I was just thinking about something that has always given me a great sense of wonder. At home we have some birds, and of all things, a cat too.
Of course.
But they love one another. That is to say, the birds don't run around in the room with the cat, but the cat supervises the birds. When the birds are put to bed in the evening, the cat goes into that room and stays with them maybe an hour or two, watches, just seems to have the feeling that it must look after the birds. And in the daytime, I've often watched the cat sit and look at the birds with an immense intensity, and the ordinary reaction is, well, for heaven's sake, haven't you seen them before? What is this everlasting intensity? But she's looking.
That's right, sir.
And her eyes are always with that jewel-like intensity and clarity, cleaner than flame.
I know.
And it never stops. And when she sleeps, she really sleeps. Yes. When you ask me what is sleep, there must be a relation between the wonder that we feel for the cat's ability completely to sleep, and when she awakes, she's completely awake. Am I...
That's right, sir.
Yes.
So, in asking and inquiring what is sleep, I must also ask what is to be awake.
Of course.
Of course. Am I awake, or is the past so alive that is dictating my life in the present? Therefore, I am asleep.
Would you say that again? That's very important.
I don't know how I'll put it differently. Am I awake? Is my mind burdened with the past, and therefore bearing a burden, I'm not awake in the present.
In the present, exactly.
Not awake as I'm talking.
That's right.
But I am talking from the background of my past, of my experience, of my failures, my hurts, my depressions. Therefore, the past is dominating and putting me to sleep now.
Sleep. It's a narcotic.
Narcotic. Therefore, what am I to do with the past? You follow, sir?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Past is necessary.
Of course. Yes. The whole field of knowledge.
Knowledge. Past is necessary. But when the past covers the present, then I am asleep. So, is it possible to know what the past is and not let it overflow into the present? That question and the reality of it brings its own discipline. Therefore, I say, yes, I know what it means. I can keep awake totally and widely and yet operate in the field of knowledge. So there is no contradiction. I don't know if I'm conveying it.
Oh, you are.
So the both are moving in harmony. There is no one doesn't lag behind the other. One doesn't contradict the other. It's balance.
Well, what I'm seeing here, if I'm following correctly, is on the one hand we have knowledge and the grasp of its necessity with respect to know-how in practical affairs. On the other hand, we have seeing, understanding. And the act of meditation is the nexus between them, so that there is no interruption of flow in the activity of understanding and knowing.
That is part of meditation.
Of course.
You follow?
Yes.
Now see what's taking place. Then what is sleep? I've understood now what it means to be awake. That means I'm watching. I'm aware. I'm aware without any choice, choiceless awareness, watching, looking, observing, hearing. What is going on, what's going on outside, what people tell me, whether they flatter me, whether they insult me, I'm watching. So I'm very aware. Now, what is sleep? I know what is sleep. Resting, shutting your eyes, going to bed at 9 or 10 or later. What is sleep? And in sleep, dreams. What are dreams? I don't know what the others say. I'm not interested in what the others You understand? I want to, because my inquiry is to find out whether meditation covers the whole field of life, not just one segment.
My inquiry is from the point where I say, I don't know.
I don't know. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So I proceed. I dream. There are dreams.
Yes.
What are dreams? Why should I dream? So I have to find out why I dream. What are dreams? Dreams are the continuation of my daily sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I haven't understood. See what is taking place, sir. I haven't understood my daily life. I haven't watched my daily life. My daily life is in disorder.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to sleep and the disorder continues. And the brain says, I must have order. Otherwise I can't function.
Mm-hmm.
So if the mind doesn't put order during the day, brain tries to bring order during the night. I don't feel
through the dream.
Through the dreams, through intimations. Mm-hmm. When I wake up, I say, yes, I have a certain feeling this must be done.
Mm-hmm.
So, see what takes place. When the mind is awake during the day, it has order. It establishes order. In the sense we've discussed previously.
Yes, in that sense of order.
Order which comes out of the understanding of disorder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The negation of disorder is order.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not the following of a blueprint.
No.
Or a pattern, or all that's disorder. So during the day, the mind, the brain has established order. So when I sleep, the brain isn't working out how to establish order in itself in order to be secure. Mm-hmm. Therefore, the brain becomes rested.
I see.
Therefore, the brain becomes quiet, sleeps without dreams. It may have superficial dreams when you eat wrongly, or all that kind of thing. But that I'm not talking about. So when there is sleep means regeneration of the brain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yes, I do. I wonder if I could ask you a question about dreams here that might introduce a distinction between dreams in terms of their nature. Sometimes we report that we've had a dream which points to a future event.
That's it.
That's entirely different from what you're talking about.
Yes.
So we could say that...
So that is, I think that we can understand that fairly simply. The other day, we were walking high up in the hills in India, and there was a river flowing down below. And two boats were coming in the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
And you knew where they were going to meet.
Of course. Mm-hmm.
When you go high enough, you see the boats coming together at precise point.
But that's very objective. That has nothing to do with my subjective unfinished business, which is the other thing you were talking about.
Right.
Yes, I quite see. Right. What an amazing thing it would be to have all your business done and go to sleep, and if order should present you with
therefore,
an understanding,
of course,
then the understanding never stops from waking through sleeping.
Sleep, that's right.
Yes, of course. Marvelous.
So you see, that way the brain is regenerated. Keeps young, no conflict. Conflict wears out the brain.
Yes.
So, sleep means not only order, rejuvenation, innocence, but also in sleep, there are states in which there is absolutely freedom to inquire, to see into something that you have never seen with your eyes, physical eyes.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, we have described sufficient into that. I see that. So does the mind live that kind of life during the day?
That would be rare.
Otherwise it's not meditation.
Otherwise it's not meditation. Of course.
And I don't want to play a game, hypocritical game, because I'm deceiving nobody. I'm deceiving myself. And I don't want to deceive myself. I don't see the point of deceiving oneself. Because I don't want to be a great man, little man, big man, success, not so. That's all too infantile. Mm-hmm. So I say, am I living that? If not, what's happening? And it gives me energy to live that way. Because I have no burden of the others. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So I see this. Because I do not separate meditation from daily living. Otherwise, it's no meaning. So I see the importance of order during the waking hours. Mm-hmm. And therefore, freeing the mind from the brain from conflict, all that during sleep. Mm-hmm. So there is total rest to the brain.